Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to once again another Jurassic World 4 video, where today we have some more exciting news for you in regards to the director for the next Jurassic World movie. It's been a bit hectic ever since the parting between Universal and David Leitch, but fear not, as it seems the next director that has been reported on has a much better chance of staying on the project this time around. And he's probably a little bit more well suited for the role than Leitch was. But before we move on with this video, as always, we'll continue to talk about Palestine. After a disgusting choice by the US to veto another ceasefire, we'll continue to work on raising funds through our fundraiser here on YouTube to help the tens and thousands of killed and displaced children across the Middle East, and more specifically in Palestine. We can't just sit back and watch history unfold once again. So, if you're kind-hearted and have the spare cash lying around, do consider donating to our fundraiser to help support those who are desperately in need right now. Even something as small as a singular dollar really goes a long way. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you. But now, let's take a look at who the new director for Jurassic 7 will most likely be. So about just over a week ago, around the 13th of February, I actually heard some news that a director has been picked for further internal discussions with Universal. And I was tipped that it would be a choice fans would love. And so the week commencing, I think it was on the 13th, the week commencing, or actually it was the 12th, forgive me. But that week, basically it turns out that this director we're talking about in today's video was in discussions with Universal to be the next director. Now I was told that it will be a director that loads of fans loved, and that people shouldn't be concerned. I saw loads of, high-end people saying that they're very concerned about the production of Jurassic 7, especially since there's no news about director. But relax, chill. I made sure to tweet out saying, don't be concerned, #Jurassic 7. And I think 6 hours after tweeting that, the official announcement finally arrived from Deadline. Late last night, Deadline finally reported on what's been unfolding in the last week, with Gareth Edwards leading the race to be the next Jurassic 7 director. Yes, that Gareth Edwards. Within the article of Deadline, they go on to say, after a deal couldn't be made for David Leitch to direct, Universal Pictures and Amblin Entertainment have moved fast as the studio is in final negotiations for the Rogue One director, Gareth Edwards, to helm the new Jurassic World movie. The studio recently dated the pick to bow on July 2nd, 2025, and moved fast to find a director, with Edwards spending all of last week meeting with executives. So, nearly exactly what I was told, and it's good information. Continuing on to that story, I just want to say that apparently the talks were very positive as well, so we just have to wait and see. After impressing producers Steven Spielberg and Frank Marshall, who helped launch the franchise in the 90s, an offer soon followed, and pre-production is expected to ramp up once a deal is sealed. And as we did report on last week or the week before, pre-production for the next Jurassic movie is already kind of in development, technically speaking. It's already begun. The new movie will completely be a fresh take on the Jurassic era, with Jurassic World cast members Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard not expected to return, and the original trilogy from the Park series as well not expected to return. This isn't Edwards' first rodeo when it comes to high-profile tentpoles, having directed the smash hit Godzilla for Legendary back in 2014. That film helped launch its own universe that has produced 4 sequels and a recent TV series, Monarch, that Legendary and Apple both produced. He would also go on to direct the Star Wars standalone picture, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, which would go on to gross $1 billion at the global box office. And not only that, he most recently directed The Creator for 20th Century. He most recently went on to direct The Creator, a film that starred John David Washington and Gemma Chan. And I've heard some really good reviews on it. I haven't watched it myself, but I probably should now. But yeah, it seems as though Gareth Edwards will be the new director for Jurassic 7, and as I did say, the talks were actually quite positive last week according to what I've been told, so it is nice information, especially now that it's finally come out from Deadline and, somewhat bigger sources. I've been excited to hear about this news because I didn't know who exactly it was, but I was promised that it would be somebody that the fans would probably love. And considering his roots with Godzilla 2014, yeah, the fans are already going on Twitter, they're saying how he's a great match, he's perfect, and how excited they are, and it seems like he's got a better response than David Leitch. So yeah, he did do films like Godzilla 2014, Star Wars Rogue One, and The Creator. Now, Godzilla 2014, I haven't watched it since, 2017, 2018, and in recent times actually, coincidentally, like the last month, I was actually debating about watching Godzilla 2014 again, because I haven't seen it in so long, and I needed a reason. I finally have a reason. From what I can remember, the movie was actually really good. It was really like tense, impactful, and whilst there wasn't too much action, the action that did appear just made it even better, if that makes sense. It was the way that we were waiting for the action to happen, and when it finally arrived, after all of that build-up, it was great. So, you know, doing something like that with Jurassic, considering the dinosaur species, I guessed maybe about 6 or 7 dinosaur species will be appearing in the movie, but he can do a lot of work with these dinosaurs, considering what he did with Godzilla. So, fingers crossed for that. Star Wars Rogue One, one of my favorite Star Wars movies ever made. Like, it's so good. I don't know, it just makes me feel so happy just watching it. It makes me feel comfortable. It was so much better than that Han Solo movie that they made. So yeah, Star Wars Rogue One, despite it being a spin-off movie, is definitely a movie that's probably a lot better than maybe at least 3 of the mainstream movies from the original 9. And the creator, again, I haven't seen it myself, so I can't really talk too much about it, but I've heard good things about it. Might need to check it out now. Now, unfortunately, on my personal side, I'm not as hyped as I was for David Leitch to be directing this, but I can't just let the emotions get a hold of me right here. If I think logically, I do feel as though that Edwards is a much better fit for the movie than David Leitch, and it's almost exactly what they want, and I have my trust in him thanks to what I remember from Godzilla 2014, and thanks to what I saw in Star Wars Rogue One. It does seem as though he did a lot of research for Star Wars Rogue One, so hopefully the canon will stay intact, because as we know, Jurassic is one of the biggest franchises out there, if not the biggest franchise out there, and it's one of the most intact lore and canon across all of the movies and series. Very, very, very minimal plot holes that basically are next to non-existent. That's one thing that I'm really proud about this franchise, and I'm so glad that they remain consistent in it. So hopefully with Gareth Edwards now at the helm of this project, fingers crossed, we just have to wait and see, he should do some research on this franchise and find out all of the lore about this franchise, which means that the 7th movie will have next to no continuity errors, and the canon will stay intact for Jurassic. Now, I am going to touch up on something here. I'm going to report on it here because, you know, it's just rumours for the time being. Not too sure how I feel about it, so don't take this too seriously, take it with a pinch of salt. But there are current rumours floating about that apparently, you know, whilst this is quote-unquote supposed to be some kind of reboot to the Jurassic franchise, apparently it's also supposed to be a prequel of some kind. Now, it's unclear whether it's a prequel to the Jurassic Park era or the Jurassic World era. I feel as though Jurassic World makes more sense, but with the people who are working on the movie, Jurassic Park era also makes a lot of sense as well. So, I don't know, we have to wait and see. It would be pretty cool if they go with the Jurassic Park era and it might be a prequel to Isla Sorna or something like that. I don't know, but these are just rumours for the time being. I did actually put a poll on Twitter late last night to see what people thought about this, because personally, I'm absolutely not for it. I would hate a prequel. I feel as though a live-action TV series would be better for a prequel, or maybe even video games such as Jurassic Park Survival. I feel as though that would be much better to portray rather than a dedicated movie. But then again, he did direct Rogue One, which is a dedicated movie, but a spin-off movie. Maybe we might see something like that for Jurassic. We just have to wait and see. But yeah, the poll basically said that 60% of 353 people say, yeah, they're okay with a prequel, but a further 40% said absolutely not. So whilst there seems to be a majority here in the poll, it's a very close majority. So we have to wait and see. Some people are probably not going to be too happy about it, considering how well Dominion set up the future of the franchise and how well, you know, Chaos Theory will probably be doing the same thing as well once it does release. So yeah, I don't know. These are just murmurs for the time being, you know, nothing, you know, too groundbreaking to them right now. We just have to wait and see. But yeah, I'll be interested to know if you guys want a prequel to the Jurassic franchise in the comments, so let me know. So yeah, Gareth Edwards seems to be the new director for Jurassic 7. Now, this isn't finalised and confirmed quite yet, nor have I heard anything about that just yet either. But, given the excitement that the board had when they progressed with talks with Edwards last week, it's clear that they would want to really get him on board with this project. And, with the end of the month around the corner, it's likely that they have next to no choice nor time left to dilly-dally around. They must get a director in by the end of the month at the very minimum if they still plan to shoot in May of this year. They also have zero plans to delay the movie from its 2025 release date either. So they really must get crunching on finding a new crew and cast for this next movie. But given that it is reported that the movie is on a smaller scale and budget compared to the last, I highly doubt that it will be a big cast that they're looking for, and that it could be made a lot easier now with Edwards at the helm. For now, we just have to be patient and wait until we learn more. Should Edwards be officially confirmed, I'll be sure to post that on my Twitter, so make sure you're staying tuned not just here on YouTube, but over on Twitter as well for the latest updates. Don't forget to consider donating to our fundraiser in the meantime, but also make sure you're keeping yourself safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.